Howdy gang, Jeff from G's Gear here, out in the shop today knocking out a few videos of some guitars and a bass that we are about to add to the pile at gsgear@reverb.com. And what we have here today is a really cool old Harmony Patrician, one of many models that bore that name that came out of the Harmony company from Chicago, Illinois. And this one is, it's hard to put a date on this exactly. This is a Patrician model H1407. They were made between 1940 and 1971. In 1965, they got an adjustable truss rod. So we know this one predates 1965. But other than that, it doesn't have a mark on it. It doesn't have a, I don't think it has even a model stamp on this one. Or if it does, it's really, really faded. Our guess is that it's closer to 1965 than it is to 1940, but it's probably from somewhere from the late 50s up until that mid-60s time period. It's in remarkably good shape as a player's guitar. It's got lots of nicks and dings and scratches and scuffs. It's had a lot of legitimate play wear, but it's all cosmetic at this point. It had need of a neck reset when it came in, and well, let's go over that a little bit. What we see a lot are guitars that come in that need neck resets that didn't get them, and that instead got other work done to try to make an action playable. And this guitar was one of those. At some point in time, the action was high enough that the guitar needed a neck reset, but whoever owned the guitar didn't really want to put that money into it. So they took other measures. And what they really involved was they brought down the action by cutting the slots at the bridge deeper. And in doing so, they took the radius of the strings out of the radius of the fretboard. And it made the action more playable here, but it made things buzz back here. So when we got it, we had to correct that. So the neck came off, the angle was adjusted, the neck's been shimmed and glued back on properly. We filled in the cut slots on the A, D, and G strings and brought them back up to get the proper 10-inch radius on this guitar. We leveled and crowned the frets, took the tuners off, cleaned them, lubricated them. One of them needed to have a tuner button replaced. Somebody had a tuner button that had fallen off and they tried to reuse it by drilling into the side of it and remounting it. So there was a button that was mounted sideways. That had to come off and get redone properly. There were no cracks, splits, open seams anywhere. Just a lot of honest play wear. And so that's really what we had to do. So as you can see, it's got a good bit of scuffing in the finish on the top here. The pickguard, of course, is missing. And it's a spruce top. It's a pressed top. It's not carved. It's steam pressed into shape. And then it has tone bars that run on either side of the bridge, just underneath the bridge posts that run back and forth here to help hold it in its shape. It is a mahogany back and sides guitar, mahogany neck, Brazilian rosewood fretboard, Brazilian rosewood bridge. This is common for Harmony guitars all the way up until the end of the company in the early 1970s. We checked that the slots for the nut were cut to the right depth, cleaned everything up, polished it, touched up a few things here and there, and it's ready to go. So it's a really nice little arch top, little jazz box. It's got a 15 and 3/8 inch lower bout, so it's a compact little number. 3 3/8 inch depth to the body. 25 1/4 inch scale, and it plays like a little demon. It's really a nice little guitar. It's got that typical punchy kind of sound that you get out of an arch top, so it's very crisp, very woody, makes it a great rhythm instrument because it's very well articulated, fine for jazz, for blues, for old-timey music, for anything up to Americana, folk music. It's just got a really nice driving kind of a rhythm component to it. But if you play it with a flat pick and play it for lead work, it's also got a very distinctive, punchy kind of a sound. This would be an ideal candidate for a DeArmond Rhythm Chief, one of the floating pickups that either attaches to the end of the fretboard or that has the monkey on the stick approach here underneath the frets or underneath the strings. Now that it's had the proper neck reset, there's enough height to get a pickup like that underneath there, and you would have a guitar that you could take anywhere and just plug in and go. So that would make it, I think, make it really special. But it's a great guitar for traveling. It's going to be a great guitar for playing on the stage. You're not going to worry too much about things getting nicked or dinged any further, as it's got nicks and dings galore. So let's play something here with a flat pick again, and let you hear how the chords kind of ring out and how well articulated the sound is. Different kind of a sound than you would get out of a flat top guitar. Much punchier, brighter, more of a driving kind of a sound. I should say the action is really sweet on the guitar. It could actually come up a little bit. It is set right now at 2.5 30 seconds on the low E and 1/16 of an inch on the high E at the 12th fret. And the guitar plays cleanly up and down the fretboard. Might need a little bit of work here. I'll see if I can get to that. Take that one fret down a little bit. plays well up and down. Like I said, we've got one fret that has a little bit of a high spot there. Some of this is finding the sweet spot in terms of setting that action, but I like the idea of keeping the action low and fast so it's really a comfortable guitar to play. And we'll address that fret. Worst case scenario is we have to raise it up ever so slightly here on the high E string. But that's pretty much it. We'll play something to take us out, and play something finger style so you can hear that. But it's a G's gear. It comes in a hard shell case that's not original, but fits it really well and will protect it for travel. What else do you need to know about this? Spruce top. It's a solid top. Mahogany, solid mahogany, back and sides. Harmony always use solid tone woods. Press top. Brazilian rosewood fretboard and bridge. It's had a full neck reset. Frets have been leveled and crowned, that one fret notwithstanding. And yeah, everything just cleaned up to make it the most playable guitar it can be. Alright, it's at gsgear at reverb.com, and if it's not there, because we've sold it, there's always plenty of other really cool guitars. Check us out there. Alright gang, we'll see you on the flip side.